mama's boy. I'm a fist fight, kinda county line, kinda cold beer. Little hat down, little John Deere. I kinda give a damn, I kinda don't care. You see the girl standing right there. She loves a small town boy like me. She's my ride or die, baby. She's my cool, she's my crazy. She's my laid back in the front seat. She's my with me till the end, girl. My turn up to 10, girl. She can have anybody that she wants to be, anywhere she wants to be. She loves a small town boy like me. She likes my t-shirt, she likes my old boots, likes to slow dance to some old school. She take a full moon over those city nights, and I ain't scared to get all up in them bright lights. Yeah, I can smooth it out, I can stick it up. I guess that's why she can't get enough of a small town boy like me. She's my ride or die, baby. She's my cool, she's my crazy. She's my laid back in the front seat. She's my with me till the end, girl. I'm turning up to 10, girl. She can have anybody that she wants to be, anywhere she wants to be. She loves a small town boy like me. She loves a small town boy like me. I'm a rock star. She ain't gonna ever lose a small town boy like me. I'm a ride or die, baby. I'm a cool, I'm a crazy. I'm a laid back in the front seat. I'm so with you to the end, girl. It's turning up to 10, girl. She can have anybody that she wants to be, anywhere she wants to be. She loves a small town boy like me. She's my ride or die, baby. She's my cool, she's my crazy. She's my laid back in the front seat. She's my with me till the end, girl. I'm turning up to 10, girl. She can have anybody that she wants to be, anywhere she wants to be. She loves a small town boy like me. She loves a small town boy like me. Yeah, she loves a small town boy like me.
And good evening, you're listening to The Hardy Show on Hardy... shit. That's a great way to start. Oh my god. You're listening to... Let's try this again. From the start. You're listening to The Hardy Show on SportsTalkSpeakerRadio.com, iHeartRadio.com, the Sports Talk Speaker app, and YouTube.com. I'm Hardy. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for listening. It is Tuesday, January the 16th, 2018. Email for the show is hardy4824@gmail.com. Again, that email is hardy4824@gmail.com. Twitter is @hardy7830. Twitter is @hardy7830. If you're listening live on the speaker app, or iHeartRadio.com, or YouTube.com, or SportsTalkSpeakerRadio.com. You can go to the chat section of this app, give us any question, comment you want. We'll get to as many of them as we can on the air. Like I say before, the shorter that you can keep it, the more condensed that you can keep it, better chance you have of me reading it and getting to it on the air. Because I have somebody that, goes through them. They pick the best ones. Some nights we get a lot of them, and obviously if there's, a long one, this individual that checks them doesn't have a lot of time to sit there and, read a 2-3 paragraph question. So the shorter that you can make it, the more dense that you can make it, better opportunity you have of getting it on the air. Before we get into NFL, before we get into what happened last night with the Clippers and the Rockets and the Warriors beating the Cavs, and what does it mean? Is there issues there? Is there disgruntledness there? Is there really drama? Part of me still believes that I think sometimes they create that. They want people to think. Now, I'm not saying they lost on purpose, but I think sometimes they get stuff out there to the media because they want people and they want teams to think that there's problems and they're just falling apart. Even though I do think the Celtics are going to beat them this season. But I'll get into that later. But first off, to start off the show, the disgraced former Michigan State doctor and Olympic gymnast doctor Larry Nassar. His sentencing hearing began today, and I read the article on ESPN.com. The stories there and how those women got up in front of him today and testified, just remarkable. And he's going to rot away. He is not going to see the free world ever again. That is a guarantee. The judge already made that comment today that he will wither away in prison for the rest of his life for what he did. And it's a disgrace. And what is just as bad as a disgrace is that these women who are telling these stories about what he did to them, the ones that are talking about how they told people in the Olympic circle, and they told people in the Michigan State circle. And on one story, I didn't read which girl it was that made the comments, and I don't want to get too much into that because I do want to, even though, obviously the article was through ESPN, so they gave the right to use their story and names. I don't want to get into that. But this woman said, hey, I told my Olympic representatives of what were going on. And they told, their response was, be quiet, don't say nothing. Really, think about that for a second. If you have a 16, 17-year-old female gymnast come to you and say, hey, this doctor is doing inappropriate things, he needs to be investigated. And the response you get is, don't say nothing, just be quiet, just don't get it out there. What is that teaching? We all saw what happened at Baylor there, in the disgrace there. And, we can get into the argument of, did Art Briles really know? What's the evidence there? We can get into that all day, but... And look, I'm one that at times defends head coaches because I don't believe they know what goes on 24/7 because they don't. Those players and those assistant coaches, they go home. They have lives. The head coach is not around them 24/7. But when stuff like this happens at your facility, and then on top of it, you have a female that comes to you and says this doctor is doing things that he should not be doing, and you tell that female to not say anything, to stay quiet. That is sickening to me. And that is almost, I'm not going to say that, but it's bad. That's bad, because all that does is that just enables the doctor more. Because instead of those Olympic people telling this female to not say anything, if they would have spoke out, who knows how many other victims they could have saved, that they could have stopped. But instead, they told this gymnast to stay quiet, to not say anything. What does that teach them? What sign, what does that say to other female athletes? Don't say nothing. Hey, if this happens to you, don't say. I was told don't say anything, so don't say nothing. I mean, that doesn't make them in any of a better image of the event, because all you're doing is enabling. If those Olympic people, if those Olympic adults and officials would have told that girl, hey, go to the committee, go to these people, go to law enforcement, let them know what's going on. No, they didn't do that. They told the female to stay quiet. And I wonder on how many occasions did that happen, because this is only one female out of the many that he assaulted who said that she did go to officials of the Olympic team, gymnastics team, and told them, and she was told to stay quiet. How many other women, young females, went to that Olympic gymnast committee and told them about Larry Nassar? How many gymnasts at Michigan State? Because there are reports there that some people had victim statements, had complaints, and did nothing. I just do not see. Obviously, I don't understand how a human being can do what Nassar did. I firmly believe that people like that, they're psychopaths. They're socio and psychopaths. They have no feelings. And you can sit there all day and say, well, he cried on the stand and blah. No, he should have thought about all that before he did the things that he did. I feel no remorse for people like that. I hope he gets what he deserves. And it's unfortunate that the state and circumstances that he's being prosecuted in doesn't carry the death penalty. That's why I'm a firm believer in states that don't have the death penalty and certain sexual abuse and child molestation cases. They should carry special circumstances where a judge and a jury can employ the death penalty. They can override if they want to, because in my opinion, Larry Nassar should be sentenced to death for what he did to 6-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old females. Reading those reports is sickening. Absolutely sickening. And then to hear about the reports of female athletes that complained about him and nothing was done, that's just